Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series on my channel. It is called The Origins, and I suspect you might have an idea as to why I've called it that. The intention behind this series is to show you where Monster Hunter came from, the very beginnings of Monster Hunter. The first game that I'm playing here, and it will be the only game that I'll be playing for this series for quite some time, is actually the very, very first game. Not just Monster Hunter 1, the international release. This is actually the Japanese version of Monster Hunter 1. It will be translated in English. While I would be able to just about get by if the game were in Japanese, I don't really want to subject you to that. You probably wouldn't be able to read what's on the screen. So I am playing in English, and that is my preference anyway. And I suppose the significance of playing the Japanese version initially would be that it is technically a different game to the international release. There are no dual blades in that game. That was one of the strange things about the international release that I never understood. It was that they decided to shoehorn in the dual blades, which were not included in the original version. So I suppose the version that I'm playing here is the non-dual blades version. The other reason why I'm playing the Japanese version is so that I can actually carry this save file into Monster Hunter G, which is the first G-rank game of the series. I have to do that because there was no international release for Monster Hunter G. For the West, and I suppose for the whole world outside of Japan, it really was only Monster Hunter Freedom 1 where you could experience a first-gen G-rank game. And of course the whole concept of what G-rank is was very different in the early games. I've already recorded some Monster Hunter Freedom 1, but I'm not going to include it in this series because that's a game where I'm actually endgame, and I can actually have that in my endgame series where I basically record Monster Hunter games where I have a well-developed character and I can just hunt whatever the hell I want, largely with whatever equipment loadout I choose. As you can see, we've got Monster Hunter there, written in Japanese underneath where it says Monster Hunter. And I don't need to go through the introduction again. I believe I'm pressing circle, that's right. Still pressing circle because it's a Japanese game. This is my character. I am not quite 100 hours in yet. I still have a little bit more to do, as you can tell. Obviously that's why I'm not recording this in the endgame series. And so I thought, well, what kind of series could I do where it would be appropriate for me to be going through the first Monster Hunter game? And I decided that I would make this series The Origins. I'll be doing Monster Hunter G as well in this series, and also, interestingly, Monster Hunter DOS. Now, while that may be a second-gen game, and it may have released after Monster Hunter Freedom 1, or at least before Monster Hunter Portable in Japan, because it's a PS2 Monster Hunter game, it still feels very primitive. It still feels like early Monster Hunter. And for anyone who has actually sat down and played that game, even though on paper there may be lots of new changes to that game, perhaps you could even say a change to the formula in some ways, it still feels like PS2 Monster Hunter. It still feels like a first-gen experience, just with some new bells and whistles added onto it. So I'm happy for that game to also be included in this series. I really have lagged behind. I have dithered immensely when it comes to progressing through DOS, because unfortunately I've experienced every single Monster Hunter game except for that one, and what that means is that I feel like I've seen it all before. Of course there are some novel and strange details to the game which make it slightly interesting, but for the most part it does feel like I'm replaying the same game again, so I'm moving through it very slowly. I'll do a little bit of DOS in this series, but nowhere near as much as Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G. What I'm doing here is essentially an introduction, showing you guys what old Monster Hunter actually looks like. I'm going to briefly go to the village, and then I'm going to take you to Mineguard. What you're seeing here is the loading screen. It is not animated. I think the first time the loading screen was animated was in Monster Hunter Portable, or Freedom 1. I believe that was animated. I feel like it must be. It's something that you don't even notice, because an animated loading screen where you've got the now loading moving around, it's such a natural thing that you don't even notice it, but it becomes extremely noticeable when you sit down and play the first game and it's just a static screen with nothing going on. I actually don't mind it. So this is Mindguard. Now, this game is in 4:3 ratio. It was obviously made for the PlayStation 2 at a time before the 16:9 ratio was the standard. So, Kokoto Village is... Did I call this Mindguard? I hope I didn't. Anyway, Kokoto Village here is... Well, actually, weirdly enough, you can see more of it here than you can in Monster Hunter Freedom 1 and Monster Hunter Portable, because you get more of a vertical view. When it gets, I'm not going to say letterboxed, but it's almost compressed and then widened, your field of vision, in Monster Hunter Portable and Monster Hunter Freedom 1, you can't actually see where you're going very well. It's almost the same angle as how it's presented here, but you can't see as much, because it's actually designed to be viewed with 4:3 ratio. So really that more horizontal view that you get from 16:9 is not going to help you in Kokoto Village. It's not immediately awkward for those who first played in Monster Hunter Freedom 1, but for those coming from this game to there, it feels as if you're running into a void. You can't actually see where you're going. It's really quite funny. There is no farm, I might mention. This direction over here is not somewhere that you can go, and I think you can go in this direction. I think there's still is the sword here? No, the sword is not here yet. Oh no, I think I've already pulled the sword, that's what it is. So this is the altar, or the pedestal where the sword is kept. There's a special word for where a sword is kept, I can't remember. Pedestal will do. But I think dais, you can possibly say dais for a sword, but that's alright. Yeah, to actually depart on quests, you go this way, and the entirely unmarked vendors here, you just have to figure it out, which one does which. The guy with the blue shirt will actually forge your stuff, and then the guy with the green shirt will allow you to purchase equipment. God forbid they actually tell you who you're interacting with and what services they provide. You will find that every single aspect of this game is as primitive as possible when it comes to Monster Hunter. Everything that you take for granted in the Monster Hunter series, even if Monster Hunter Freedom 1 is the furthest back that you've gone, you will find that it is not in this game. Let me take you to my room. I don't even have a feline kitchen, okay? There is no feline kitchen. What a ridiculous suggestion that there would be a way to increase your health with food here in the village. It's just a wardrobe and some pots. In Monster Hunter Portable and Monster Hunter Freedom 2, Freedom 1. I should stop saying Monster Hunter Portable, it just muddies the waters a bit. People are like, well, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is the name of Monster Hunter Freedom 1 in Japanese. That's the original version, but they are the same game, strictly speaking. So I'm just going to say Monster Hunter Freedom 1 to avoid confusion. In Freedom 1, this does actually lead to a separate room where you can eat food. Not in this game. This is your strongbox. Now your options here, believe it or not, do not include A, equipment sets, and B, any option to sort your box. You will also notice that I've only got one page here. That does not change. You are playing a high rank game where there is only one page of box storage space. Might I also mention, or draw your attention to the fact, that items, much like all of the first-gen games, and all of the games actually, all the way up to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, you can only stack in your box the same number of items that you can stack in your pouch. So this means if I wanted to store honey, it has to be in a stack of 10. If I want to store a combo book, well, I can't just have a combo book in the box and then also in my inventory, and then if I want to put one of my combo books from my inventory back into the box, it's not going to create a stack where there's two. No. If I had If I wanted to put Book of Combos 1 in this box, they would have to occupy 2 slots in the box. I don't know if that was a very clear explanation of what I'm talking about, but, you know, let's say flash bombs, for example. I can't remember what the max that you can hold is. I think it's also 10, but yeah, anything that can't be stacked in your inventory, for example, cannot therefore stack in here. So, to communicate what this means to you, you have extremely limited storage, and then you also have limited ability to stack things on top of that extremely limited storage. So this is a game where you are constantly fighting for space. I haven't even killed every monster in the game yet, and my box is full. I mean, every single slot is occupied with something here, and it's pretty brutal. It's really, really brutal, and until you've actually sat down and experienced it, you probably don't really know what it's like. I can give you an example of how I would cull things here. I could sell these wyvern claws and make up another spot, and I might actually do that now, just for the sake of it. Just while I'm thinking of it. I can make another slot because I've got an extra stack of claws, which I really don't need. I'll go and sell these now. Here we are. I'm not getting much in the way of Zenny for it, but hey, better to do that than to completely delete it. Alright, let's try to go back. Is there a way for me to go back, or do I literally have to reset the game? I think I can go here, can't I? No, I can't. I'm thinking of when I'm playing online. Well, I'll just sleep at the bed. That's probably how I do it. Yeah, so you have to save game with square, and then I think it gives you the option to return to the menu at that point. It's not actually in your regular in-game menu. But yeah, just to be clear, I'm not actually live at the moment. This is just an introductory portion to the video. I didn't want to be distracted by trying to get a group together, or even being tempted to get a group together while playing here. And so I'm going to do my live... I'm going to begin the live stream after I've done the introduction. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so memory card slot 1. Loading back into our character, and this time I'm going to show you Mine Guard. Now, for those who haven't played Monster Hunter Tri, I suppose I can't really say this for people who've played World, because the first game to return to the Alpha Team system of having a separate online town location was probably Monster Hunter World, because that had the same Alpha Team flavor. But this is going to be quite different to what a lot of people have experienced in Monster Hunter, or at least in old Monster Hunter. You'll experience it in Monster Hunter 1, Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter DOS, and Monster Hunter Tri. This is where you've got a completely separate online area, and basically a city to explore. You know the whole idea where you've got a room and you can upgrade the room that you see in Monster Hunter World? Well, that was an Alpha Team feature that was essentially linked to going to a separate city or town location. You can see they've managed to animate this. Why couldn't they have done that for the loading screen? What I'm connecting to at the moment are the fan servers run by Monster Hunter Old School. If you want to play this game online, those are the people that you're going to be served by. Got my keyboard set up to work with the emulator, although it's not completely foolproof. It doesn't have the sort of free typing ability that you would get on the actual PlayStation 2. Frustrating though. I think it's because I'm playing the Japanese version and you have to actually cycle through different languages on the keyboard in order to be able to type. Slightly annoying. As you can see, Monster Hunter 1 fan server, we have a new website. MonsterHunterOldSchool.com, I think that leads to the forums. I'm on the forums. You should join the forums. Make sure to visit the new forum website. We've got a new English patch. I don't know if I've got that English patch. I don't know what changes were made, probably just very small changes. It's essentially complete, the English patch that I'm using. It's remarkably good. It's considerably better than the Monster Hunter G translation. For anyone who has tried to play Monster Hunter G translated in recent years, this is considerably better. Not just the quality of the translation itself, but things like the typesetting and just the appearance of the translation. It looks official. It's very, very well done. Whereas Monster Hunter G immediately feels like a fan translation. We'll see how many people are playing. Basically no one is the answer. And this is part of the reason why I didn't want to go live here. Because if I'm going live without actually checking to see who's playing, I may have no one to play with. It's not the end of the world. I may be able to organize something and then go live at that point. But I don't want to be live and then have you guys hanging around watching me try to organize a group, because it can be really unengaging. Alright, so we're in Redland, and we're heading into Mineguard Town. There's Nastfang over there. You can already see someone moving around in the space. If I go to check location, you can see that we are in Redland Area 1, Redland Town 1. You're very rarely going to encounter so many people playing this game that you actually need all of these different areas and towns, but you can imagine back in 2004 all the way to probably around 2009, 2010. I think the server shut down in 2011, but I can't imagine many people were playing at that time. Probably several of these areas were populated with people playing. As is the case for all of the first-gen games and also Monster Hunter DOS. In the online area, you can get a maximum of 10 people all together at once. How this differs from Monster Hunter Freedom 1 is that you can actually see them all at the same time. I explained this in my Monster Hunter Freedom 1 recording before, where to deal with the fact that the whole online area is confined to a single tavern location in Monster Hunter Freedom 1, they make it so that you can only see people when you've joined up on the same quest as them. But here, in Mineguard, because it's a really expansive town location, they do actually allow you to see everyone all at the same time. One thing that I didn't mention, but I may as well draw your attention to, is the fact that my weapon is not actually visible. I'm just walking around without a weapon. Obviously, I do have one equipped. If I go to equipment details, you can see I've got the poison battle axe. It's just not visible right now. You will only see it when you depart on the quest. I suppose the first game that made it so that you did have a visible weapon would have been DOS. Although, weirdly, I don't remember clearly being able to see my weapon in DOS. I think, yeah, definitely it is visible when you're outside of a quest in DOS. I'm pretty sure I remember that. So, DOS was probably the first game to do that. If not Monster Hunter Portable. No, it must have been Portable, because I keep forgetting that Monster Hunter Portable came out in 2005. So, in other words, Freedom 1 in Japanese came out in 2005, which means that it does actually predate Monster Hunter DOS. So we can say that certain things were first introduced in the portable version of first-gen Monster Hunter. And that would have been one of them. Just visible weapons while you are out and about in the village or in the town. I suppose I'll go to the smithy first. There's a few different directions I can go in. The blacksmith. It's a rather dark area. You've got your storage box here, which is good. I'm glad that you have access to it here. You can buy equipment from this person. That's what you have access to there. You can see that the icon for guns is a little bit different in this game. I believe all guns, irrespective of their weight and size, will have that same symbol. Now, the person that you interact with to forge your weaponry will actually be this guy. As you can see, he doesn't have a name, it just says NPC chat. Okay, so we've got weapon crafting. This is where I'm going to show you something interesting. So, as we're going through all of this, you'll be able to obviously see details of the weapons that we're forging. Notice something strange about this. It says that there's sleep, but it doesn't tell you how much. That is a thing. You are not actually told how much status or element your weapon has. You just have to guess. And yes, as you're upgrading the weapon, you can assume that it's getting better, but you don't actually know. Online references are very important for this. There is actually an online reference through Monster Hunter Old School that you can use that gives you all of these details. It's very nicely laid out. For anyone who's familiar with the Monster Hunter Freedom Unite Blacksmith webpage, it's basically the same thing. It's quite stylized and nicely laid out, and also pretty intuitive. I like it a lot. So you will actually be able to see the values there. I've got no idea why they decided that we didn't need to know the value. I mean, if we know how much attack our weapon has, why not just tell us how much element it has? But as I say, the things that you take for granted in Monster Hunter, even in Monster Hunter Freedom 1 while you're playing that game, a lot of it isn't in this game. That's just the reality. Something else that I might show you is bowguns. This might blow your mind a little bit. See this bullet usage screen? You may have noticed that it doesn't actually tell you how much of any of these shot types can be shot by this gun. All it tells you is whether it can shoot the ammunition or not. You just have to go in blind. You just have to hope that this thing shoots a decent amount of normal level 2 if you want this to be your normal level 2 gun. It's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, things that you take for granted, but yes, you're only told if it can shoot it or not. That's your information. And guess what? When you actually take your bowgun out and decide that you want to shoot it, none of these buttons will do it. This, well, actually, this is backwards, so don't look at that. Your left and right analog stick will do nothing, except for when you press your right analog stick. You have to actually hit R3 in order to shoot. R3, you are clicking your right analog stick in order to shoot. Absolutely mind-boggling. I couldn't work it out when I first equipped a bowgun in this game. I thought there must be a way to shoot, but it's not something I can figure out, and it must be ridiculous because I literally can't figure it out. And it was truly ridiculous. You click your right analog stick every time you want to shoot. It feels as bad as it sounds, I can assure you. But if you, one thing that you'll notice about the first-gen Monster Hunter community is very little phases them. Very little. You will find minimal sympathy among the first-gen players when you explain how almost incomprehensible clicking your analog stick to shoot a gun is. They're just like, well, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Why would you have that be the way that you shoot the bowgun? Because keep in mind, everything else, I mean, most people are familiar with analog stick controls. It's basically where, to attack with your weapon, you're moving your analog stick down or left repeatedly in order to do your strikes with your weapon. I was expecting the bowgun to work in the same way, where to shoot, I would move the analog stick down, and then I would have to move it down every time I wanted to shoot. No, that's not how it works. You have to click the thing. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, let's continue our tour through Mineguard. You've got two different directions to go in. This will ultimately take you to two different spots of the same area. Let's just go this way. So that route we could have taken before will actually have you come out further down here. It's more of a shortcut to get back to the plaza, to be honest. Got a few felines to talk to, we've got various people. This guy, I don't really know what he's doing. Looks almost like a captured monster might appear there, but I don't know. No special deliveries in today. I suppose this is actually how they receive deliveries into Mineguard. I guess it's up on a mountain. So I don't think it's something you can really interact with, it's just something visual for you to take in. There are a lot of vendors in this town. This isn't a situation where all of what you need is being sold by one person. You have to go to different people, and it's worth mentioning that these different people will sell slightly different things depending on the time of day. They have days of the week where you can expect to get a certain material, like for example you'd call it Claw Day, when you want to buy wyvern claws and wyvern fangs from a particular vendor. It's a little bit strange, but there you are. This guy sells this stuff. And then there's another vendor over here. He sells this stuff. And if none of that is what you're looking for, maybe you'll be lucky, and this person will have what you need. Not you. I didn't mean to talk to the cat. This person. Maybe this person has what you need. And again, as I say, what you've just seen in terms of what they sell is not the only stuff that they sell. It is on rotation. Not as much as you might expect, though. I think you get special days where stuff will be added. But, yeah, I'm not completely across what can be purchased and what can't be. Yeah, as you can expect, it takes a while to memorize this stuff. This, very interestingly, is, I think he's called the Combinator in later games. He's in Try, and I suspect that he's in DOS as well. Here it's just called mixing, so if you want to do combining here, you can do it. But there's a fee, so I suppose this is just, you know, you'll get a 100% chance of being able to successfully combine for these things, but there's a fee as a result. It's a little bit odd, but anyway. You can also buy stuff from him, there you go. So if you want to buy, I guess, healing consumables, and you can also buy bomb material. Oh my god, what an absolute lifesaver. Of all the things, you know, that this guy can sell. I hate having to create bomb material. It has always been something that's bothered me in the game. I can't even off the top of my head. Oh, that's why I hate doing it. It's because it needs either stones or iron ore. That is bullshit. I hate it. I don't want to use my stones because I'm not going to be accumulating stones through high rank and G rank. It just doesn't happen. And then I also don't want to be wasting my iron ore. It's something like sap plant and stone or iron ore. It just blows my mind. I just want to be able to buy the bomb material. And you can in this game. I don't know why they got rid of that. Why did they get rid of that? Anyway, let's go to the plaza, and I'll take you guys to my room. Or where the hunter can actually stay. Might actually just see the player list. We've got Landy, he is HR 4. Nastfang is HR 20. It does take a while to actually get to HR 20. He says he's been playing since Freedom 2. Interestingly, that's as long as I've been aware of the series. Monster Hunter Freedom 2 in 2008 was the first game that I was familiar with. And then the first one that I actually sat down and played was Freedom Unite. So definitely this guy and I are of the same, you know, class of 2008, we'll call it. What am I doing? I was going to show you my Hunter rank. My Hunter rank is the first Hunter rank of high rank. It is HR 13. You can see my HRP there. This is something that is different from the Alpha Team games when playing online to that of the Beta Team games. So how it works is you have a threshold that you have to meet with your HRP in order to move on to the next Hunter rank. It's not only that, you do also have to complete key quests. So when you complete a key quest, or rather all of your key quests, you can still do the urgent quest into the next Hunter rank, but you're not going to reach that next Hunter rank until you've hit that threshold. Now, I actually really, really like this system, because what it does is it incentivizes people to help others. It's not just a case of, oh no, I'm just going to blast through my key quests and then get to the final rank, and then I'm going to have to go out of my way to help someone else with their key quests, even though I'm miles ahead of them. How it works in this game is that you have to do people's quests in order to gain the experience points, the HRP, in order to progress. It is a natural... built within the system is an incentive to help people. And it just makes so much sense. I don't know why they chose to do it differently. I suspect it was a form of streamlining, because you progress too slowly when you do it this way. The last game to do it that way was Monster Hunter Try, and I thought it was a great system. It was something that I sort of took for granted in Monster Hunter Try. Obviously, I started in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, but I didn't play as much online there. I definitely played the guild, and I did play on Ad Hoc Party on my PlayStation 3, but I didn't play much of it. It wasn't as central to my experience while playing Monster Hunter as it was in Monster Hunter Try. So when that system existed in Try, I absorbed it in a big way. I really absorbed it, and I really hoped that that's how things were going to be going forward, and they just weren't. But I suppose I could accept it, because it was how Freedom Unite did it, you know, when Portable Third came out and I played that game, I didn't mind. That's how Freedom Unite did it, so I was, I suppose, flexible in that way. Now here's the weird thing. You've got 3 different rooms that you can access. Or is it 4? No, it's 4. So you can access this room for free. This is the most basic room. And the thing that changes the most is not just the room itself, it's the kitchen that you have access to. So the kitchen itself is going to get better and better each time you go to the next level. So this is the most basic room. It looks like a stable. It's really not very nice, not a nice bed. We're not going to be doing anything in here. But if I go to the next level up for 200 zenny, almost can't believe I'm wasting my zenny to show you this. This is basically just a rearranged version of the room from the village. They didn't do much with it. There's a lot of people's clothing hanging up here. I don't suspect this is my clothing. It's a little bit unprofessional to charge me a fee to use a room that's filled with someone else's clothing that's drying on the line. I don't really know what they're thinking. There's also a slop bucket. That's nice. And there you go. So that's this room. Obviously still not very impressive. So once you've paid the fee, yes, you can go back in, but it's not something where you pay the fee once and then you have permanent access. It's not like that. But obviously, if you haven't yet departed on a quest, you can go back and forth. You can come and go with a key. I suppose that's how it works. You pay for the key and then you lose the key. However, it is a one-time payment for this one. I think you have to pay the first time. It's probably something like 50 zenny, maybe even less. And you get the key permanently, but for this stuff, no. Bishop, that's 500 zenny. You get a much nicer room. This is a big upgrade from where we were before, which may give you an idea of how the best room looks, which is quite good. Freda is saying hello in town, as you can see, and I can type to them. There is full free typing in Monster Hunter 1G, DOS, try, pretty much all of the PS2 and Wii games, both in the town and in the quest. You can just type. Full communication. It's something that is honestly taken for granted in the series in general. It's something that really frustrated me, where we became used to these portable games where communication was limited. I always called myself a stationary console Monster Hunter player at heart, because I always valued the ability to communicate to people. And let me demonstrate that now. If I can remember how to do it. Cool. So, I'll just say hey. Back to the tour. I accidentally clicked one of my applications, so I was a little bit distracted there. We've got a massive candlestick in the corner. Got a bit of a better table. I think we can... Yeah, you order food by awkwardly walking into here. It'd be nice if you could just go close to the table in general and it would give you that prompt to eat food, but that would make too much sense, wouldn't it? That would make much too much sense. So, yeah, you order food by awkwardly positioning yourself where the seat is, and you can obviously sleep there to save the game. And if we go back to reception, I can take you to the best room, which is 1,000 zennies. Lots of money, hey? Lots of money. And here it is. This is the Queen Room. Check this out. It's got some royal blue carpets and bed coverings. I can't think of the word. Sheets, I guess we'll say. And if we head out here, you'll see the screen will actually begin to change. This is where we order food. It's all quite distant, isn't it? This is where you order food, over here. And yeah, this is Mineguard. It's an entirely different location to anywhere that appears in the games after Monster Hunter G. And you can only access Mineguard here in Monster Hunter 1 and in Monster Hunter G, which is basically the G-rank version. There's one more place to go, and that's the tavern. This is where you engage the guild in their quests, and I suppose their other services. You can't go through here, don't worry. I don't know what's actually over there. Who knows? It's a mystery to everyone. As you can see, it's a tavern more or less fit for 10 people. It's always going to be a little bit crammed, but there's more space in here than in the Freedom 1 tavern anyway. You've got one quest giver, and then you've got the guildmaster. He's still calling me a rookie. Oh, there you go. I can't be calling you rookie anymore, can I? I am the great hunter that drove off Lao Shan Lung. Quite right. And if we look at the quests here, you can see more or less what we have access to. You've still got event quests. These are on rotation. I don't know how often they change. I don't think it's once a week. It may even be more frequent than that. It might be 2 different event quests per week. And you can see at the moment I am doing the HR 13 to 16 quests. That is the 4-star. This is the beginning of high rank. You can see I'm still getting excellent quests like mushroom picking, deliver Kelby horns, deliver 10 pieces of raw meat, slay 50 Vespoids, deliver 5 golden fish. This shit, ladies and gentlemen, is what you have to deal with in 1st Gen Monster Hunter. Isn't it beautiful? And you know the best thing about this? You get these quests on rotation, so not all of these quests are going to appear all the time, and there are quests that haven't actually appeared in this list of 5 that may actually be key quests, but just aren't visible right now. It's amazing. I don't even really know what to say. Anyway, someone's talking about being high rank, I guess. This is obviously your quest board, and then if you need to purchase anything, here is the lady. She has a lot of what you need. Not literally everything that you need, but she has most of the essentials that you'll need for hunting. I still haven't bought my armor charm. I can technically afford it, but I'm saving my money for a weapon. Can't remember which one. I think it's the Rathalos Sword and Shield. I'm still working on getting the materials for it, but I think I need more Zenny than this. It's like the fully upgraded version. I may as well show you guys. I feel bad for these people. I'm not actually engaging with them at all, and these are probably the people that I'll be playing with when I actually go live in a moment. Frida's asking if I have all low rank quests cleared. Probably not. I bet I need to do some gathering quests. Open to hunt whatever. Because I'm high rank, I can actually join almost all, if not all, high rank quests. Just probably means that I'm not level appropriate. Oh, it's a long story to tell you how weapons work. You can basically forge weapons in low rank that will be appropriate for high rank, if that makes sense. It's really strange. All I can tell you is that the concept of high rank, or as it was called in those days, hard rank, the difference between low rank and hard rank, or standard rank and hard rank, can't remember what people said anymore, is a bit of a thing. As you can see, I need 41,000 Zenny for my next upgrade, the Blazing Falchion. You can see it gets a lot more green sharpness. And yeah, it's very expensive. I just need one more scale, but I can assure you that that is not going to be the end of the journey. I have much more Zenny to make, and of course, in 1st generation in general, it's a very, very time-consuming experience to get Zenny. Well, it's not that time-consuming. You sell monster materials if you want to make money, but you will have to spend a lot of time. You will allocate much of your efforts to gathering Zenny. It's what happens. Anyway, that is it for my introduction. This is all going to be one VOD, obviously, so when you next see me, I will actually be live and playing for an audience that I can interact with. I hope you understand why it was necessary for me to do it non-live. It gives me the freedom to not worry about it. So I will make an edit, and I will see you guys in almost an immediate amount of time. And I'm back. We've got a team. Well, okay. And it's AJ. AJ is here. I don't really know what to say other than we do actually have a group of 4, and it's extremely frustrating that AJ can't join us. I'm really sorry, AJ. We did actually end up with a 4th person, and I hope you can hang around, or, well, obviously you can do other things in the meantime, but might just join this guy for now. He's an HR 10, and he's posting, presumably, his key quest, and, yeah, anyway, as I said in the introduction offline, I did invite AJ to play, but it's just been unfortunate that we do actually have a full group. This is going to be a Rathalos capture quest. After all of those rooms that I unlocked, I forgot to actually eat, which is such a waste of money, an unbelievable waste of money, especially in this game. But that's alright. Life goes on. Yeah, as I say, I encourage you to do other things. I guess you can just watch the live stream, can't you, if that's entertaining enough, but yeah. As far as the tranks are concerned, I'll bring them. Apparently, no one else is. Why am I the only one taking this stuff? Whoops. There you go. Obviously, I'm not used to the fact that I'm playing this game where the No, what a waste. I'm so not used to having well-done steaks. I'm just not used to it at all. So I actually saw, oh, meat, let me eat that. Oh, hold on. Those are not rations. Of course I would use my rations before wasting one of my well-done steaks. It's just actually necessary for me to bring well-done steaks now, because the food boosts are... they leave one wanting in this game, and when you're in high rank, obviously, you're not just given free stuff, so... yeah, this isn't high rank, this is actually low rank here. But I need low rank stuff anyway. Usually Rathalos will begin in Area 6. Hello, A-Gaming. Welcome to the live stream. We are indeed back in Monster Hunter 1. You can see that connectivity with people is not great when you're actually online. Nastfang in particular seems to be completely messed up. What is he doing? He's instant transmissioning. Either he is on repeat or... oh, I can see what he's doing now. He's running around in a circle. It's just the game is struggling to catch up with showing it. It's something that I think the online servers have room to improve. Probably something to do with the netcode, I don't know. But it used to be a little bit awkward in Mindguard. Like when you were actually in the town area, people would slide around awkwardly. But now that's no longer the case. It has improved. So maybe there's scope for this to improve as well. Or an ability for it to improve. There's definitely scope for it. But unfortunately wasn't able to shield in time. Nastfang tells us that he's not going to headlock, by the way. Probably a good thing. Oh my god. No, pressing the wrong buttons, of course. And now he's roaring. I definitely need to acclimatize to this game. Feeling slightly out of sorts. Alright, let's let him get down from this ledge. There's not much that we can do when he's on this ledge. Very good, Rathalos. Very good. Nastfang is unperturbed by the fact that the monster is on that ledge, and is continuing to attack. Okay. This is great. Alright, now because Rathalos is flying, he's been able to relocate. He's no longer in that spot. It's a bit dangerous to go in like this. Oh, unless of course I get a flinch. Cool. Come on, Nastfang, I'm not the Rathalos, although I am dressed in his outfit, so you are forgiven for misinterpreting the situation. The monster does actually have an invulnerability period while he's in that tail cut animation. So I was just waiting for him to... as you can see, wind pressure is a thing. Wind pressure is really bad. I was stuck in an endless loop of guarding that. I couldn't actually drop my guard. As you can see, Rathalos likes to fly into the wall when he flies away. That is a feature, not a bug. He just flies into the wall. That's what he does. Alright, I got the Rathalos scale that I needed. But obviously I'm happy to have a surplus of Rathalos materials in the event that I need to sell them for money. Frida is apparently now in possession of Wyvern Marrow. I don't know what you mean about clank, 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 but anyway. Welcome to the live stream, P-Berry. I've got no idea where the monsters ended up. Nastfang is in Area 10. I don't know if the monster's actually there. Oh, looks like the monster's flying there. See, Nastfang's done this before. You could see that the monster wasn't even content to land in Area 4. Decided to continue moving on. I say the monster as if I don't know what I'm fighting. It is, of course, the Rathalos. Alright. The sound of the wind pressure. Yeah, it's better to just get the hell out of there rather than try to shield wind pressure, particularly from this monster. Whoops, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I don't think it's possible to unsheath into a guard in this game. If it can be done, I haven't worked it out. Oh my god. Wind pressure. 2 words. Don't know why my hunter was spooked in that moment. Didn't you realize that you were in combat? I was facing you. What more do you need from me? Fuck. Could I have been facing him any more than I was in that moment? I don't think so. Yes, alright. Jesus! Imagine getting hit twice with one attack. He ran at me. Why am I consuming these? I'm doing ridiculous things in this recording, it has to be said. This has been like the worst fight that I've done in Monster Hunter 1 in a long time. I'm just doing very bizarre maneuvers. I'm consuming well-done steaks when I should be consuming rations. I'm consuming potions when I should be consuming first aid meds. I'm getting hit terribly. And he's flying away. This is the Rathalos special of Monster Hunter 1. You will engage him for a short time. Oh no, he's doing around the world. Well, that's good. I'd rather he do that than just fly away. But the Rathalos special is you will engage him for about 60 seconds and then he just leaves the area. He's flying on an angle. Alright. And he's limping. Oh, it's a fucking capture quest, you're right. That's why Nastfang was pinging. Alright, let's try to get this done. I'm the one who is in possession of the tranks today. I don't know why I was the designated tranker, but I very much was, because every single person vacated that box, they just walked away from it, and here I was looking at a box that had all of its tranks in it. Tranks are supply items only in this game, so I guess I'm the guy. Looks like they're gonna give Area 4 a try. Are they gonna try Area 4? They're probably right to do so. Just in case. Should I? Maybe I'm slowing down the process. He may just leave this area, inevitably, and I'm slowing it down. Yeah, okay. As you can tell, I'm not up to date with how things are being done in this game. Why is he going to 6? No, do not go there. Let's just wait for him in 5. Or 4. One of the two. Yeah, you can see that these guys are very much comfortable with the movements of this monster. I haven't been playing this game recently. That's all I can say. This Vespoid is... oh, dead is the answer to that. Now he's flying... where? To Area 5. Frida is reacting to the fact that Piripon, I think his name is that right? Yeah, Piripon has put a silencer on his bowgun. It doesn't do anything. Just a fun fact. It doesn't do anything. I knew that was going to happen. Fuck me. I should have been much faster with that. Frida's going to unfriend him on Facebook for doing that. That's upsetting. Can I drop this before he turns? Oh! Get in the trap! Oh, apparently you can actually get trank shot in this game. Oh no, he may have taken trank shots. They must have been in the box. Anyway, the monster's captured. All's well that ends well. Okay, that was a bit dramatic. I don't know why. Felt dramatic. Go away, damn wing. I just feel a little bit out of sorts. I think it doesn't help that it just so happens that my left index finger is hurting at the moment, and that my left index finger is almost required in order to play this game because you use the claw. When you're playing Monster Hunter 1 on the PlayStation 2, you are using the claw from PSP. That is the technique. And yeah, it actually hurts. It hurts to use the claw right now, so I feel like everything's just wrong. I'm uncomfortable. Anyway. Some people are uncomfortable just from playing this game. As you can see, green sharpness is yellow, showing up as yellow. I'm probably not explaining all of the differences in the game. One thing that is very different about this game is how effective the lance is. So the lance can deal so much damage to a head that you can do what's called headlocking. Now, headlocking is something that can still be done in Monster Hunter Freedom 1, just less effectively. In Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G, headlocking is a legitimate technique where you are going to be essentially locking down the monster in one place by repeatedly hitting the head, usually with the lance. Lots of items here. Those are very good rewards for that quest. Although that's true, it was a capture. I'm not used to doing the capture version. I'm currently at the rank of Weapons Master. I really like the rustic look to the menus of this game. Whether it's what you're looking at now, or the fact that the menus are brown. Might sound a little bit weird. I mean, imagine complimenting a game for having brown menus, but it's true, it looks kind of nice. I like that it is a rustic theme. I suppose you can find beauty in anything, including a brown menu, but I do. I actually find this game to be really visually attractive, and very interesting in a lot of ways. I would say Monster Hunter 1 is one of my favourite Monster Hunter games. Never thought that I'd say it, but it's true. Zeoples. Oh, Nustfang has reacted with an exclamation mark, probably because he's found another HR-20. So he's probably going to go and play with that guy now. I think Frida's asking if I still need Rathalos stuff. The answer is no. What has this person posted on the board? It is a max level quest. This is definitely the highest level. I'm guessing I can't join it, and even if I could, I probably wouldn't want to. It is HR13 plus Wyvern in the Darkness. It's just Khezu. I don't mind doing it, but... is AJ still around? If he is, maybe he could join us. No, AJ's not around, but... I feel like it would make more sense if Frida and Piripon played together, and then I played with these two with AJ. That would probably make more sense, but... Anyway. This is where it gets a little bit complicated when you've got groups of 10 people in one location. Lots of communication has to go on to work out who's... Like, you have to create groups, right? No, I'm done with that. AJ's back. I forgot the other guy's name. Zeoples. It just makes more sense because these two can't actually join that quest. I don't know if this is going to be problematic for Frida and Piripon, but that's my suggestion. Because they're both... neither of them can join, but we've got 4 people who can join. Frida, you can't join this quest, man. So when he says, let me switch to Bowgun for this hunt, or unless you're HR 14. No, you're HR 12, so you can't join the quest. That's quite a remarkable misunderstanding of what I'm trying to explain. AJ's trying to help. You can see why these things get complicated. This is the downside to having 10 people. It's because you need to rely on communication to get things right, and often it just doesn't work out. I am still working on upgrading my weapon, frustratingly. I would love to be able to bring an appropriate weapon for this quest, but I can't. You can see that I have the materials to make my upgraded blazing falchion, but don't have the money, and I'm not going to have the money for a while, so I suppose I will be equipping a rather weak weapon for this quest. It seems like Zeoples is asking Nastfang if he got a crust. Now, if you don't know what a crust is, it's a rather gross-sounding material, isn't it? It comes from Fatalis, so Fatalis crust is a first-gen drop. I don't know why they had to use that word, it really is unseemly. Crust. Ooh. Sounds like, I don't know, dead skin? I'm not sure. Dead skin. Alright, can I get something nice? Let's just go meat and meat. For a maximum health boost, hopefully. I don't even think we're being given that as an option. Why is it all... What? Where's my meat? Why aren't you giving me any meat at all? It's all, like, seafood. Fuck, what's the next best thing? Because I don't have any drinks here either. This is a terrible list of food. I just paid 1,000 zenny for this shit. This is really bad. Am I going to get a health down for doing this? Come on. But yeah, usually when I go to the Queen Room, I just eat meat and meat to get a full health boost, and that's enough for me, but I think on this occasion, what am I going to get out of this? Strangely delicious. Maximum health increased, well thank God for that. I managed to get 120 health, well I'll take it. I need some kind of health boost for this quest. Oh yeah, I need to put my stuff away for sure. Alright. I should be ready to go. I will go and buy some more pickaxes, but other than that, I am prepared. As I say, I wish I had a stronger sword and shield to join up on this quest, but I do not. So, yeah, hopefully it is acceptable that I'm with the other team. As I said, I'm with the... Nastfang has left. He has disconnected. But yeah, that's what I explained before. I'm joining that group, and then Frida and Piripon are in a separate group. I suspect that we'll now have to wait for Nastfang, because he's disconnected or something, but... I'll bring 3 hot drinks just for good measure, and again, I will purchase some pickaxes. Alright, those two can head off, do their hunting. I'm just glad that they're not, like, one of them isn't being left out completely. At least those two can play together. Because that's one of the worst case scenarios, when you've got 5 people and one person has to be left out. Alright, we're going to wait and see if Nustfang returns. An interesting quirk to this game is that you can see that there is an option for me to ready up. When I do departure ready, it'll do the classic, flashing above the head. It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing, because Zeo players can at any time depart on the quest. As long as we're joined up on it, he can depart. I don't remember if that remains the case in DOS. It might do, but it's definitely a thing in the PS2 games here in first gen. Oh yeah, AJ is talking about how when you disconnect and then you reconnect, they can actually appear precisely where they disconnected. We saw it in a previous live stream that I did of this game on the Doomlink channel. And yeah, that was really interesting when we saw that. We'll just have to be patient. I suppose we're not going to wait forever. We'll give him the chance to come back within a reasonable time, but there's always the possibility that he's disconnected and won't be able to reconnect. Obviously, in that situation, we don't want to be sitting here forever. Oh, there we go, he's back. Just as AJ was asking how much longer we should wait. Very good. Let's do it. So again, this is a high rank quest. The last one that we did was a low rank Rathalos. As you can expect, this is just going to be a Khezu, but strong. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage to me, so I have to be very careful. I would have much preferred to have 150 health, and to say it for the third time now, I would have much preferred the upgraded version of my sword and shield, but that's alright. We will make do with what we have, and at the very least, if I'm hunting at high rank level, I will be able to get more Zenny. As you can see, in some high rank quests you do actually spawn at camp, and in others you don't. I don't really understand why, but it's one of the quirks of old Monster Hunter. Things that you expect to not have changed when you go backwards. So, for example, some quests when you go into high rank will actually take you to camp, and then others won't. And then, very strangely, when you're in low rank, there are some quests where everyone spawns randomly throughout the map. Makes me wonder if it was a bug, and then Capcom just decided to make it a feature in the later games. I've got no idea. I wouldn't put it past Capcom for them to have a bug like that. Oh god. Don't worry, the lightning is visible, it just wasn't in that moment. As you can see, some of the textures are actually broken on Khezu here. I think there is a mod to fix that, and I will look into it. But you can see some of the he looks a bit patchy. It's just an issue, I think, with emulation of this game. What are you doing? But yeah, I think there's a texture mod that I can get to fix that. Either way, I'm using a pretty primitive version of the Blazing Falchion here, as you can tell. The weapon design was updated in 2nd generation, I believe. Actually, I'll vacate the head for the Lance user. Isn't that a Thunder weapon, AJ? I believe AJ's using a Thunder Lance. Oh no, maybe it's a Raw Lance in this game. It became a Thunder Lance later on in the series, but by the looks of it, it's just raw damage. Oh, it's paralysis. Okay. I must have misremembered it. I guess it was always paralysis then. Khezu looks like he's got armbands on. Look at him. He's just got sweatbands. He's like an 80s fitness instructor. Sorry, I don't think you guys need that image in your head. He's on a journey. To nowhere, to be honest with you. Sometimes Khezu just needs a bit of a workout. I'm glad that we're following along the fitness instructor analogy. Come on. He's a very temperamental monster. Ugh. Try to get away from Nast so that I'm... Or Nast, I don't know. I'm getting away from him so that I'm not flinching him. His damage is much better than mine. Even though he's using a dragon weapon. It's a Fatalis lance, so unsurprisingly it's going to be quite a bit stronger. It has to be said that, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, it was just incomprehensible to think that I'd be playing Monster Hunter 1 with a group of 4 online, on a computer. It just... yeah, difficult to imagine, and a very exciting prospect. I think around 5 years ago was when it first started. That was when they were beta testing for the old school servers, and I remember hearing rumblings about it. I'm obviously not evading in the right direction. Oh my god, the camera. I'm in the worst spot possible for this. I ended up taking 2 stacks because they left them for me, so... I'm happy to use my 6 first aid meds in this quest. But yeah, if you are familiar with Monster Hunter Freedom 1 and you've played a decent amount of it, this game is going to be much easier to engage with. Once you've desensitized yourself to the bullshit of first gen in that game, you'll be able to, I suppose, focus on getting used to analog stick controls, and then that's all you really need to worry about. There are probably ways to avoid analog stick controls in this game, but I actually enjoy it. It's really strange, it adds to the experience, it feels more like I'm playing an older version of Monster Hunter when I'm using the analog stick controls. But, yeah, I don't do it at all. For Monster Hunter DOS, I do use the Break Arts mod for Monster Hunter DOS. I explained why in my Freedom 1 recording. It's because of how they changed the sword and shield in that game. I cannot accept a situation where I have my sword and shield out, you know, unsheathed, and when I press square with the intent to sheath it, I instead consume whatever I have in my consumables list. I cannot stand that. I will not tolerate it, and consequently, I'm using Break Arts. So, there you have it. I know it says that he's flying in that direction. Believe me, he's not going in that direction. There's nothing else I can tell you, except for that. He's going to go to 3, and then I believe he's going to come down here. Although, the HR-20s are pursuing him in that direction, so maybe, no, he does land there first. Happy to stand corrected. His movements do change in Freedom 1. In Freedom 1, he will go straight to Area 8 when he's limping. We may actually kill him here in Area 3. It would be ideal. Oh god. Got a lot of Vespoids hanging around. And once again, I know it says that he's flying towards Area 1. He's not. He's flying towards 7 and then 8. I don't know if he's bunny hopping his way to Area 10. He must be. So he might go from 3 to 7, and then from 7 to 8. You can obviously see some of the the rough edges of the game. It does at times feel like you're playing a beta version of Monster Hunter. It's incredible. Oh my god! I'm not going to complain because his damage is better than mine, but it would be nice to be able to actually hit the monster, to be honest. For all the good it would do. But yes, he is doing the bunny hopping, as I call it. My finger really hurts. I don't know why, like my index finger has been hurting for about a week. And now that I'm playing a game that requires me to use the claw, wow, does not feel nice. Let's keep away from Zioples. Mr. Hammer Extraordinaire. He's taking a while to come down. I don't know how high he was, but this is a very slow descent. What's he doing? Come on, don't be shy. I feel like he would have been hovering there for a while. Oh my god. You can see how he really drags out the fight by doing this. If he just went to where he needed to go, yes, it would take ages for him to fly there, because he flies very slowly. But at least we wouldn't have to wait for him to go down and up and down and up constantly, in order for us to finally get to where he wants to go. It's insufferable. At least he's sort of going in the right direction, but not really. I don't believe he can land in Area 9, so I think he's going to go to 10. Can he land in 9? No, he can't, unless he goes through the ceiling, which is definitely possible. I wouldn't put it past Capcom to do that. Oh no, he goes through here. Okay. I can do some mining over there. Let's not forget to do that. Here he comes. Khezu with his armbands. Work it. AJ, that was a legendary moment, and I'm going to capture it, save it for posterity, and use it against you. No, I'll just put it on Hunsterverse or something, I don't know. That was very funny. It was basically AJ totally unnecessarily charging with his lands, and then getting completely owned by the monster. It was very funny. Mainly because it was very predictable. Oh yeah, I need to do some mining. Let's not forget. I told myself not to forget, and then I promptly forgot. Admittedly, the events, as they were unfolding, served as quite a distraction, but... where the hell is it? Where was that crack? I don't even know what direction I'm facing in anymore. I'm so lost. There it is. Good God. If you're wondering, by the way, whether or not it's just a feature of the map or an actual crack you can interact with, you'll see crumbling rock on the ground. Crumbling rock on the ground, near a crack, is guaranteed to be a mining zone. I don't think there's any crumbling rock in the volcano, just to be clear. So what I just said there may not actually apply when you're in the volcano area, but... yeah. Are there any more mining areas? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, I've no qualms about doing this while Khezu is fucking around, doing whatever he's doing. It's worth mentioning, you cannot actually skip death scenes in this game. Not an option. Electro sack. Pale bone, here we go. We're starting to struggle with our space, but that's alright. I think we've got map and first aid meds to remove as a priority. It's always a struggle with space. Obviously I've been mining, so that makes it even harder. Did I just mine from here? I think I did, didn't I? It's probably just one mining zone here. Frustratingly, you have to mine in order to see if you've exhausted the node, and that will in turn damage your pickaxes, so... You're very uncompromising, very unfriendly. Well, this time, Peaberry, I do actually have well-done steaks, but the quest was almost over, so I wasn't going to waste my well-done steaks on that situation. I'm not taking those wyvern fangs, it's not happening. Flabby hide, I'd better take this flabby hide. Otherwise I will live to regret it. I need to put away the... well, not put away, I certainly can't afford to have small barrel bombs in my box, but these are getting sold immediately. I don't know what they're doing in my inventory. What can I get rid of? Oh my god. Actually, I know what I can get rid of. My hot drinks. Very good. I was hoping for a high rank quest that I'd get more than 1,200 zenny. Particularly when, to upgrade my weapon, I need 41,000 zenny. High rank quest, 1,200 zenny. Clear reward. 41,000 zenny to upgrade one weapon, okay? Hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of why you're always hurting for zenny in this game. Unbelievable. You basically have to sell your monster materials, there's no other way. Yeah, that basically just paid for my meal, you're dead right. I made 200 zenny profit. What? Who gave me pale extract? Someone gave me pale extract. Did she just give me pale extract randomly? Remember yesterday when I said, if Khezu's a penis, what is his pale extract? How do I interpret a situation where this lady just gave me some of her pale extract? I think it's supposed to be the other way around. Anyway, that was delightful. Yeah, it's a little bit disheartening to see that if I choose to spend 1,000 zenny to eat a nice meal, I'm just going to make that back with a very, very small amount of additional money. I'm not... you know, that is a big cost to me. I don't have space for Dragonite, or here we go. What do I not need? Dung? Do I need dung? I don't need dung, actually. That sounds like a good trade. Alright, I'm going to sell some things with you. Not equipment, actually. Don't want to sell equipment right now. Archon Tal is a massive fan of pale extract, which is what I would describe as unsolicited information. I don't think any of us needed to be told, but we are now better informed. Alright, let's sell these barrel bombs. They can fuck right off. And I'm surprised that she accepts dung. I just sold her excrement. She gave me money for excrement. I like this place. I like this place. You're never going to get poor. You just shit in your hands and say, hey, I want some money, please. Technically, it's valuable. It might be used as fertilizer. Or it might work as a deterrent for monsters. Even my shit's valuable. Anyway, let's go to the pawn room. I don't... sorry. On the subject of pale extract, I shouldn't be saying let's go to the pawn room, but... in any event, I'm not paying for my food again. Oily raisins. Why do they have to be oily? Popo meat and... okay, I know. Here we go. Let's see what our boost ends up being when we drink... when we have a drink and cheese. What's the boost going to be like when I don't actually pay for my meal? Am I going to get lucky and I'll get like 130, 130? That'd be nice. Maybe even 120, 120. Hey Sabatail, welcome back. And thanks for the resub. It tasted normal. Suck me off. Drink and cheese. I deserve a good boost for that, but you gave me absolutely nothing. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. That's the only point of consolation, really. It's that I didn't actually have to pay for it at all. Far out. Have you ever eaten a meal and felt like nothing happened? Yeah, you just ate a nourishing meal and it's like, wow, I feel completely the same as I did before. Zioples has posted something. What's he doing? Oh, he's already withdrawn it. McDonald's. Yeah, I guess that's true. I feel like you're more likely to have a negative experience when you eat McDonald's. It is true though, like, I will pig out on McDonald's. I'll have like, I don't know, 2 full-size McDonald's burgers. Have you noticed that McDonald's burgers, oh sorry, Americans may not relate to this. In Australia, you get a McDonald's burger, it's like a fucking child's burger. It's really quite small, like I can hold it in the palm of my hand and it... Anyway, like, yeah, even if you get a Big Mac, I swear they used to be bigger. Maybe it's because I was younger and therefore physically smaller, but I swear Big Macs used to be bigger. They're so small, they're like children's burgers. So I'll get 2, you know, so-called full-sized McDonald's burgers, and I'm not full. Well, I'm full, briefly, for maybe an hour or 2. But I'll be pretty hungry after 3 or 4 hours. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's cheap, but there's a reason. There's a reason why it's cheap. Alright, so here we go. I've got my gunner set down here, I think. No, that's not my gunner set. My gunner set's here, apparently. Let's go and equip Sandstorm. Why am I equipping Sandstorm? It is because we are hunting Gravios. I'm definitely going to need a better loadout than this, but I don't have one. So, this is as good as it's going to get. This is my gunner loadout, and I'm hunting in high rank with it. It's alright, I'll get a better gunner loadout at some point, and I will get a better gun also. But, unfortunately, it's not really going to work for me to do a Gravios with a weapon. The fearsome Gravios, okay. I'll try not to slow down the team. Ammunition is a bit expensive in a game where you get like 1,200 zenny for clearing a high rank quest, just to be really clear. I believe I can shoot PS2 with this gun. No. PS level 1 and normal level 2 I think is what I'll be shooting. There isn't really any elemental ammunition in this game. I think there's Dragon Shot. But not really. It's only for special guns. Alright, PS level 1. I think I can shoot Stun Shot. I think. Is that not the funniest thing you've ever seen? S, so paralysis, and then you look at the shot, and it says Stun S. I just want to take... Actually, do you know what? Maybe that's the fan translation. Maybe that's their fault. But if this is actually an accurate translation of the original game, which it might be, I want to take whoever wrote that shit and smack them upside the head. I want to smack them. Again, just want to make it very clear, I'm not referring to the people who did the fan translation. You are a credit to the community, thank you. But if that is an accurate translation... Excuse me. I'll give you bloody... I'm coming, alright? I'm a gunner. Wasn't really expecting to see that sort of impatience in in a game like this, but I guess it exists everywhere, and even with HR20s, it exists everywhere. There is Dragon Shot, but it only hits one time, and does the same elemental damage as hitting one time with the Rusted Sword and Shield. Wow. Okay, so don't use elemental shots in this game. Understood. Get my first aid meds again. I've got some pellet shots, which I'm not going to be using. I'm not even going to take them. Although I could take them for free Zenny, but I don't really want to. Is it worth taking recovery shot? I don't even know if I can shoot it. But we'll find out. Now, something that I explained in my introduction, which was done not live, just to be very clear, so none of you will have seen it. I did explain that you have to press R3 in order to shoot in this game. It's an extraordinary experience, something that I wouldn't really wish upon anyone, but if you are playing Monster Hunter 1, or Monster Hunter G, and you're using a bowgun, prepare to experience it. It's, you feel dirty during the process, and also afterwards, for some time after. Well, I suppose pointless ammo would be an oversight. I suppose it's just a symptom of Capcom being absolutely mental. You know, ammunition that is really, really bad and doesn't do anything. Like Dragon Shot, if AJ's correct that it is as bad as he describes. I mean, really. There's no other explanation except to... Oh my god, look at the sensitivity. Do you really think it's necessary for me to have that kind of sensitivity? Let's just look at this. Whoa! Particularly when going up. I can barely keep track of that. I think we're both shooting stun shot. Oh, I missed mine. Quite horrifically. If we're both shooting it, maybe we'll be able to get 2 paralyses. That's possible. Oh, that was the biggest... I'm sorry, but that was the biggest waste of a paralysis I think I've seen in a long, long time. That was disheartening. I'm going to shoot all of my stun shots. And we'll see how we go. We probably have enough for 2 paralyses between the two of us. I'd say that's good teamwork. There you go. And now I'll work on poison. Because I suspect the poison damage that I'll be able to deal once I... Looks like we are of the same mind. Great minds think alike. But yeah, I suspect that the poison damage that we'll be able to deal is better than at least my damage as a gunner. Alright, poison is applied. There's been some good gunning teamwork. So yeah, I can't actually shoot Pierce level 2, so Pierce level 1 will have to suffice. Just to explain how I'm using the gun, I press down, or not press, but rather flick my analog stick down to reload. And then to shoot, I actually click R3. Nothing's over there. Just letting you know, nothing's over there, mate. To aim, it is still R1. I think you're able to do third-person aiming, I think. I just don't know how you do it. No, holding it doesn't work. Maybe third-person aiming's not possible. I never use it, so I don't care one way or the other, but... yeah. I suspect that it's not possible. Oh. Monster Hunter didn't get this kind of aiming sensitivity until 4th gen. Specifically, Generations. Very strange thing. I probably haven't really made this clear enough, but if you are playing Monster Hunter 1, please play the Japanese version. It's better in every way. You're going to be able to play online, to start with, Second of all, you'll be able to carry your save over into Monster Hunter G if you wish to do so. And in addition to that, while you don't have dual blades in the game, shock horror, I mean, how are you going to manage that? There are certain things about the international release that are just intolerable. One example of that would be the way that they flipped circle and cross. So, to make selections in the Japanese version, unsurprisingly, you're pressing circle. That's the select button in all Japanese games on the PlayStation, whether it's the stationary or the portable system. And obviously that's why A is select on that right side when you're playing a Nintendo game, for example. But seriously, when they flip it to cross, they don't just do it in terms of, hey, your select is now cross. The actions that would previously be circle become cross. So you would actually be hitting cross to carve a monster. You'd be hitting cross to interact with a box. It is horrific. It is some of the worst game design ever. Obviously, it didn't mean much if you were playing that game for the first time. You just get used to what button does what. You're not going to question it. But if you're getting used to, or if you're very used to how Monster Hunter is in other ways, for me, that's a step too far. You swap those buttons, you swap those actions, I'm going to lose my shit, because every single Monster Hunter game is circle to carve. So, yeah. Cannot accept that. And I will not. So just don't play that version. Please don't play that version. Okay. Apparently you can fix that in the emulator, what I just described. Still, don't play that version. You're not going to get anything out of it, is what I would say. The translated version of the Japanese game is very good. Or the translation patch is very good. Alright, that was very effective. Obviously I can conduct myself in a Gravios hunt without being hit. Particularly with a good team. So even though my loadout is subpar, substandard, it's all manageable. I didn't actually see how much money I got, but I suspect very little. Yeah. It looks like I've lost money rather than gained money, to be honest with you. Oh, of course I have. It's because I was buying my ammunition. It's impossible to save money while buying ammunition in this game. Yeah, do you scroll with cross as well? I bet you do. Maybe you don't, I'm not sure. The last time I played that game was actually the demo version. I've actually got the demo disc somewhere. Let me flip my display, hold on. The version that I told you not to play, it's this. Don't fucking play that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then the last game I played was this. It's the demo disc of Monster Hunter 1. This is... I'm probably not going to describe this as the very, very, very first Monster Hunter 1, because this is the demo disc of the international release. So, yeah. There you have it. Need to flip myself again. Now, the only game where it was cross for carving Sabatail was the game that I just showed you. That was the only game where it was cross for carving. Alright, what's on the board? I need to be quick, apparently. What are you doing? Are you cycling quests, or what's happening? Who... Did they depart without me, or... Oh no. It must have just been that guy. Whoever that was, Frida, I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, I'm at a stage in the game where I'm just sitting back and doing whatever quests people want to post. There will be a time, I suspect, when I need to accumulate monster materials to forge things. But I'm almost at the stage where I want to focus on Zenny. It's incredible. I shouldn't be too surprised. This is a game where things that just got left behind in future versions, whether it be for the purposes of streamlining or just for evolving the game in general, it's all here. So even accumulating Zenny is quite an experience. You're basically sacrificing your materials for Zenny, or sacrificing your Zenny for materials. It's unusual. But it makes sense. You have to get used to it. But it's just fortunate that at HR 13 I can join these guys on anything that they post. It's just whether or not I can contribute is a different story. If they were to post a Rathalos quest, what am I going to be able to do? Almost nothing. Just survive is all I'd be able to do. So I wouldn't really recommend that they post that, and I don't think that they would be minded to do so. Apparently they're doing Khezu again. I really don't want to use my gun anymore, it's too expensive. Way too expensive. And then if I want to liquidate this ammunition, I'm not going to get much money back. Ugh, don't have space for Gravios Carapace. Yay. Let's make more space. Making space with Doomlink, that is basically the experience that you can have while watching these recordings. Am I going to keep my bone husks? The answer is yes, because guess what? You need them sometimes. You need them while upgrading things. So, what is it here that I don't really need? Raw meat. I'll put the raw meat in here. That's fine. You have to be extremely strict with what's in here. Armor seed? I probably don't need those. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Make space for my pale extract. Okay, so HR 17 is required for Rathalos. I wasn't sure, but that makes sense. Hello, Wonderlord. Yeah, if you're a hoarder in Monster Hunter, this is not the game for you. Not at all. First gen in general is going to be miserable. I really don't want to do Rathalos in this game. I guess I'm going back to the Flame Falchion as the only thing that I feel comfortable using against a Khezu. I wouldn't use a water weapon against a standard Khezu, and I certainly wouldn't be using a poison battle axe because he's very resistant to poison. I will have this live stream go for a little bit less than 2 hours. For 2 reasons. The first is that I'm quite hungry. The second is that I did a fairly long introduction. I did like a, I don't know, 20-minute long introduction. So that can make up for the lack of time spent. I'll be live for another 30 or 40 minutes either way. Okay, let's sell... Or should I keep this in case I... Maybe I'll keep it in case I need it, and then I'll just exchange it, because the money that I get back from it is so minimal that it would almost be better to discard it if I needed the space at the end of a quest. And then I can try to keep it. In case I end up needing it. Anyway. Let's go. Sorry, I'm keeping you guys again. Delaying the questing experience. I forgot to eat, actually. I should at least try. I should try. Even if I get a normal result. Normal, as in no effect. I should at least try. Anyway. I just can't, in good conscience, pay for my meals anymore. Money is a luxury. I just like having the map. You will always see me use a map, or rather acquire one if it's an option. Sorry if I took 2 stacks and you guys were intending to take one for yourselves. I'm used to being given a stack while playing with you guys. Alright, so we are in the swamp this time for Khezu. No, attacking with a stick is not in Freedom 1. Freedom 1 was the first game to eliminate that. The easiest way to remember which games use analog stick controls is to say that it is PlayStation 2 only. So, in terms of the chronology of game releases, it goes as follows. Monster Hunter 1 JP, Monster Hunter 1 International, Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter Portable, Monster Hunter Freedom 1, Monster Hunter DOS? The last 2 could be the wrong way around. But basically, you have games that exist, 2 specifically, Portable and Freedom 1, where they did away with analog stick controls, and then they came back for Monster Hunter DOS because it was a PlayStation 2 game. So, yeah. It's just a PlayStation 2 thing. And it's pretty bad, but you do get used to it, believe it or not. The first time that I experienced it, I was filled with a sense of not just incredulity, but disgust. I thought that it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. I couldn't logically make sense of why they did it. But, yeah, once I actually sat down and experienced it when I wanted to play this game seriously, and I only decided to play this game seriously when I could play online in it. Because I need to be able to play with people to truly enjoy a Monster Hunter game. A game where I can't play online in it, in the series, is not a complete write-off, but I'm never going to enjoy it as much. So I didn't really commit myself to this game until then. So it's still a fairly recent thing. It's only been about 2 years. And, yeah, the analog stick controls are now pretty comfortable for me. Maybe not comfortable, I wouldn't say they ever become comfortable. They become tolerable. Apparently Ape Escape used analog stick controls, but apparently there was a good reason for it. I can't say I ever played Ape Escape, but I can attest to the fact that it's got a funny name. Yeah, they obviously took inspiration from the wrong kind of game. Okay, Neoples is going to check out Area 7. I bet I've got... No, I do not have Psycho Serums. I have actually brought Psycho Serums to hunts in this game, because you can purchase them. You will have seen that in the introduction. One of the vendors does actually sell them. The problem is that... I thought I just heard the sound of him flying. Fuck me. I really do hate this monster. It's a bothersome creature. The second-gen versions of these maps are pretty much unchanged. So in other words, if you're in Freedom Unite, if you're in G rank, you will be able to return to these locations. And they're called Old Swamp, Old Desert, Old Jungle. They're basically unchanged. The map, as you see it here, does look slightly different. But it's the areas are the same. I can hear you, I think. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm hearing things now. Khezu is living in my mind. Oh. Nastfang is waving at Khezu. There he is. Bastard. Guess who's getting paintball? Big time. Bastard. Just saw several paintballs go at him there, or at least one, in addition to the one that I threw. As you can see, it's a bit of a small monster fest at the moment. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 6 or 7. But yeah, that's one of the ways in which, and I explained it in Freedom 1, that is just a first-gen thing. You will have to encounter lots. Well, not encounter just, but also endure, suffer, tolerate. Sometimes up to 8 small monsters in the area with a large monster. And it's shitty. It's very shitty. As I said before, I'll try to get out of the way of Nastfang. I don't want to interrupt his attacks to the head. There's our paralysis. We'll see how long it lasts. We suspect that he's resistant to... yeah, he is fairly resistant to paralysis. Not sure about the build-up time, but he's definitely resistant to the effect as it is applied. Well, that actually saved me, I think. So I'm not going to complain about that upswing. I have so much more to do on this character. I'm just thinking about how few weapons I have. I mean, you can see that I'm trying to accumulate weapons. It's just very difficult when you need to spend that much money on them. What I'm doing, I suppose, is just accumulating monster materials so that I then have a lot in excess to then sell for money. Because at a certain point, I hope that I will have played so much of this game that I'll have lots and lots of monster materials to sell. You know, more monster materials than I will ever need to use for a weapon. So that that can be my income source. Then that way, the doors will hopefully open up for me to make lots of different weapons. I just have to get to that point first, where I have the money to do it. It's slow going. Ooh. The emulator does hiccup occasionally. The worst hiccup I see is when someone joins the room. Doesn't always happen, but at the moment it has been. Like during this recording session, when someone joins the room, the emulator freezes for like 2 seconds. I don't know why. Need to sharpen them. Ugh. Got stuck in the wing. With my mobility, I shouldn't be getting hit like this, but I am. I can do better. Well, you've seen me do better. Get him. Get him. So he is actually heading for Area 11. He will always make a beeline for a cave. I don't know if you were able to see that there, but Khezu doesn't fly very high in this area. It's like he's too fat to lift himself up off the ground, and he can only just barely get over that hill. It's very funny to watch. I just wish that I had showcased that a little better. Oh, I can't wait for a good meal. I'm quite hungry. Come on down, Khezu. Come on down. We don't want a repeat of what happened in the last confrontation now, do we? And we shouldn't. He's not going to immediately leave this area. He's happy when he's in a cave. Unsurprisingly, he blends in very well. Weirdly, he doesn't have broken pixels in this area, if you haven't noticed. It's only in the jungle. I don't know what causes that. But apparently, in the swamp location, he does not have broken pixels. I can't even begin to explain why that is the case, and why the locale that the monster is in is going to somehow affect the textures of the monster, but it does. So, I would say my preference in that case would be to fight him here in the swamp. I don't really have anything lined up. Peaberry, I'll probably cycle down to the local Thai restaurant and have some laksa or something like that. I'd get spring rolls as well, but fuck me, they rip you off with spring rolls. It's like $9 Australian for 4 spring rolls. Like, fuck off. Like, 1 spring roll would probably cost you 20 cents to make. Spring rolls? Are you for real? Anyway. I just remember being aghast at the cost. Yeah. What should I replace? Probably that. Probably that. Well, thanks for the raw meat, I guess. I hope it's not Khezu meat. Wow. Apparently for Peaberry, it's a 3-hour round trip on foot to get to the nearest store. That's, yeah, obviously very different to my experience. I live right on the beach, a short distance from many amenities. Medium monster bone, do I want that? I'll replace my stun shots because I've only got 3. That should do me. Yeah, so Rathalos armor and weapons, very good. I'm still trying to make sense of how armor even works in this game. I think you can get plus armor, and I suspect that it only unlocks when you're in high rank, or perhaps when you've killed the high rank monster that you're making the plus armor for, but weirdly the materials seem to be the same. You don't seem to get high rank materials from monsters in this game, which is why things like Scale Plus, I'm thinking of Monster Hunter Freedom 1 now. In Freedom 1, Scale Plus would be something that you got in G rank. So that actually makes sense. Here in this game, you're not going to have different types of materials. Thank you very much. It's so interesting that here in Monster Hunter 1, you can actually just, in the tavern, take things from someone directly, whereas I think in the later games you have to... Yeah, so in Freedom 1, for example, you would have to use the accept item option. There is no accept item option here. Anyway, AJ gave me some of his pale extract, for which I'm extremely grateful. I suppose you could say that it's a form of sexual harassment, but it's happening over cyberspace, so that's alright. For anyone who has played with someone who's mentally unstable in a video game, they can sometimes struggle to see the difference between reality and what's actually happening to their character in a game. Like, for example, that time... I've told this story before, I'll happily tell it again. I joined a room with someone who was probably slightly unstable in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and this person said, before we departed on the quest, if you kick me in-game, you're getting kicked from the room. And I'm like, what? Okay. And so I put my plan into motion. I did the quest probably about halfway through. I'd say we were probably 3/4 of the way through the quest. And I went up to this person and I used the kick animation on them. They immediately disconnected. presumably in a fit of rage. It was very, very funny. And it was caught on camera. I just don't know what recording it was. It was like 240-something recordings for the old Doom Link's Life Hunt series. It was one of them. It was very, very funny. But, I mean, imagine advertising to me that you don't want to be kicked in-game. Like, if you're going to advertise that to me, in the first instance, why would you have a problem? And then second of all, I'm going to do it. It was hilarious, but anyway. No, I do not take offense to effectively having seminal fluid dumped in my hands by AJ in-game. Just as well. Oh yeah, there's no auto-sort, by the way. I think I meant to mention this in the introduction, and I did fail to do that. There is no auto-sort, it doesn't exist. So if you did want to sort anything, you have to manually do it. So that's why it looks like a dog's dinner, in case anyone's wondering. Oh, why is it Rathalos wing followed by Velocidrome claw? It's because this is literally in order of how I received things. So there you have it. I can probably sell some of these Diablos shells. Diablos. Is the greatsword in this game? I wouldn't imagine that it is. So no, it's not. So I can probably sell some of these shells and get some money. I'd say so. Sell item. That's pretty modern that you can do that. 650 per. Oh. See, look at that. 650 zenny per. Oh. Just to make it clear, just to put it in perspective, I need 41,000 zenny. 41,000. For one weapon. In a game where I'm just getting fuck all money. It's disheartening. Wait, get Diablos armor, says AJ. Okay, I'll save it. I wasn't going to actually sell it. But you're right. I have seen Diablos mixed armor pieces being used. So I will do that. Sorry, I'm holding up the team again. What have we got on the board? Water Wyvern in the jungle. Am I changing weapons? Yeah. Let me use my Poison Sword and Shield, just so that I'm using something a little different. I'm obviously not going to be using my Water Lance, because that's literally forged from Plesioth. I'm not going to use my Fire Sword and Shield again, so I will use my Poison Battle Axe. This is my strongest weapon, mainly because of the poison. And, yeah. I did overuse it a little bit in Freedom 1, but it is what it is. I like the Sword and Shield, and Poison is sort of a... It's a silver bullet. Everything is weak to it, except for Khezu, I guess. AJ, should I wait to make the high rank Khezu? Not Khezu, the high rank Diablos armor. I think I should, right? Because I've already got full Rathalos. I'm not going to make another low rank armor set. I guess you're referring to the high rank version. I have once again been given another stack. Oh, sorry AJ. Hope you didn't need any. Okay. I once again didn't eat. I am at this stage just forgetting. To be clear, I'm not intentionally not eating. As I said last time I forgot, I should at least be trying. Apparently you need majestic horns for the high rank version of the armor. And the defense difference isn't very much. Okay. You only make the helm, mail, and waist. So, same as try then. Alright, Plesioth time. He's much more tolerable in this game than he is in Freedom Unite, believe me. It's only really in Freedom Unite where he has that really glitched out hip check. Didn't he just jump out? Am I going insane? I'm going insane. Elusive creature. There he is. I just thought I was hearing the sound of him leaving the water, but it wasn't that. But yeah, I would consider this to be a pretty advanced fight for Monster Hunter 1. He is one of the more advanced fights. It's just very dynamic. He's going in and out of water. And yeah, he looks pretty cool as well. It's good to look at these monsters in context. Oh, good paralysis. Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, don't worry about me being there, I guess. I'll go and find another leg to attack. I'd just like to get my poison out. There we go. Already happened. Maybe AJ helped out with that. So this weapon that I'm using here is actually fully upgraded. That's something that I did neglect to mention. You can see that it's white, like the coloration of it looks really weak, but for this game, this is actually a fully upgraded weapon and will be appropriate for the entirety of the game. And I actually made this in low rank. So there you have it. It's a strange thing. Later games are obviously very different in that regard. If you make something in low rank, you need to upgrade it in a way that makes it high rank, but the concept of low rank and high rank, as I mentioned, is very different here. I do need to heal up. Whoop. Poison is definitely not the weakest status in Monster Hunter. Not even close. All of the status effects are very good, but they're situational. Poison is very straightforwardly strong in all games before Monster Hunter Tri. Monster Hunter Tri was when Poison was first nerfed. Poison is incredibly strong in all of the games up until that point. Paralysis is obviously proportional to the amount of damage that can be dealt during the paralysis, so that's going to depend on the team that you're playing with. Sleep is probably the weakest of the three, but it's also situational. It's the weakest in the sense that it's the hardest to pull off in the earlier games. In the earlier games, sleep can be interrupted extremely easily. So it's not really ideal that you use it, and if you do use it, you need to be a very well coordinated team. But obviously sleep, when used correctly, can open up an opportunity for lots of damage as well. But I would say sleep, probably the worst of the three in generations 2 and 3. I would say that there's more potential for heavy damage through paralysis. I would say paralysis, based on the best case scenario, and based on taking advantage of the status to its maximum degree, paralysis would be the most effective. If I get hit by a Vespoid one more time, I'm going to completely lose it. Obviously we get 4 calms here. You can see he's actually got that effect going over his skin. A pretty involved monster for the first game. And now I'm gathering. Don't particularly want that. Yeah, I did hear about that, AJ. And I don't think it's just poison, I think it's all statuses. So, for example, if a monster gets paralyzed, you can actually continue to build up more paralysis while it's in its paralyzed state. I believe that's the case for all of 1st and 2nd gen, unless it was changed for poison, but not paralysis. But I know that's how it is for paralysis in 2nd gen as well, including Freedom Unite. So presumably poison's the same. You can continue building it up even when it's in effect, and then you can, I guess, chain it at that stage. Oh, it refreshes it to max. What? Let me reread that. Poison refreshes every time it procs. You only have to build it up again if it depletes to 0. Oh, okay. Refreshes every time it procs. I think I understand what you're saying. But I feel like that's what I was saying before. I don't know, I thought I understood, but apparently I don't. I thought that what you're saying is that you can actually keep topping up the poison as it goes on, so it basically chains the poison, but you seem to be saying something different. Oh. So it's not even about proccing the poison, it actually just dealing poison damage will actually refresh the poison up to its maximum. Wow, okay. That's really unusual. I think part of the reason why I didn't understand that is because it doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? But that's exceptional. It's very useful. Okay, well, there you have it. If you're using poison in this game, then you're doing the right thing. I might actually have that be my last hunt. I am quite hungry. I do thank you all for watching. It's always good to sit down and play a bit of Monster Hunter 1. Thanks again to AJ for joining me. It's always good to have that bit of insurance. When I'm live, it helps to have someone who I know is going to be there. If everyone else leaves, at least I've got one other guy to play with, so it's always very appreciated. I will see you guys again next time I'm playing. This is a new series just for Monster Hunter 1, and I guess Monster Hunter G when I move on to that, and then also Monster Hunter DOS. Basically, the PS2 games. It's designed to show you guys the origins of Monster Hunter, where Monster Hunter came from. It's something that not a lot of people want to actually take the time to experience, but I would say most people enjoy watching it, because you can sort of see it from afar. You don't actually have to engage with the rigidity of old Monster Hunter. You can just see you can experience it through me, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the intent behind this series, the intention. Anyway, I do thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.